Let's talk about dating in your 30s because honestly, it's not the same game anymore. Like in your 20s, you'd let things slide. You know, you are a little bit more malleable, or I guess you could call that being young. And like, let's say someone cancels last minute. Cool, you'll still grab like Taco Bell and text them at 2 a.m. or whatever. But in your 30s, one small flaky move, and suddenly you're like, my piece is worth more than this burrito or whatever. And here's the thing, it's not just that your standards are higher. It's just that because you've actually lived, you spend time with yourself, you spend time knowing yourself more than, a lot of other people. And I feel like that puts you on a certain level that you won't tolerate anything beyond a certain treatment because, you have your baseline that you've already rewarded yourself. So you would not tolerate anything lesser than that. It's also like you've built your routines. You've learned how to enjoy your own company, and you're actually enjoying it. Maybe even healed from some wild heartbreaks from, your life. And now it just takes a lot more for someone to impress you. It's not just I wouldn't say easy. It's not just the same, There's so much more that they need to do for you to actually feel like, okay, I like this person a lot. And that's because I think it's because you genuinely love your life in your 30s. Your home is cozy, your bed is comfortable, your cat cuddles better than literally all the people I've dated before. So if someone's stepping into that space, that sacred space, they've got to add on to it like way more and not mess it up.
Yes.
So I think that's where it is for me, at least. I'm not sure about the other people. I know a lot of friends right now who are kind of, have the similar like standard, or we've had a similar conversation about this. So I'd love to know about what you guys think in the comments. And that's why small things, it gives you the ick than it used to before. In the past, you would have kind of let some things slide and be like, okay, let's just give this person a chance to see what it's gonna be and stuff like that. But now, like I was talking to someone, but this was a story that I would like to kind of put forward, like, from dating in my 30s. It's kind of funny too. I was actually talking to somebody and they were from New York. It's me. And at one point, they asked me, I'm in Toronto right now.
Adorable, right?
I don't know why, but just in that moment, I was just like, nope, like not even a second chance. I'm just over it. And that's what I told myself, back then. And that one line was enough for me to make a decision. I'm like, okay, maybe it's a sign. Maybe it's a spiritual sign that they asked me this question. So I kind of like quickly, it was just this one moment of like, oh, wow. No, that's how it is right now. I'm just giving an example of like one scenario that can easily be like, okay, nope, I'm not doing it. It's as simple as that. And that's how ruthless dating in your 30s can get, to be honest.
I'm not a complainer.
You don't even need a big red flag. You just need a small time zone question, and that's it. And on to the next. But on the deeper side, I feel like 30s like sharpen your intuition a lot, Especially for me, like I feel that like 30s shape your intuition to a completely different level that, I've never experienced in my life in the past. Obviously, I was in my 20s. But the comparison is just baffling. It's just something that I always write about it too, like how different it is. Like even a couple of months ago, I would look back and compare what it is right now. Like I could do that a few months forward into the future and I could find so many things that's changed for me, right? So life, I feel this is constantly evolving in your 30s. You learn everything so fast. And that little moment of ick, it's not just you being dramatic. That's almost like your spirit whispering, your soul whispering. Nope, not this one.
Yeah, you know what? There are other fish in the sea.
In your 20s, you would ignore that, thinking, oh, I have this chemistry, I have this connection with this person, and that's electrifying, and I'm just gonna let this slide, and we'll see how it goes and stuff like that. And that's how you get into the mess.
God, I miss just being needy.
And In your 30s, you respect your soul. You respect yourself more. In your 30s, you respect your choices more. You listen to your intuition more, And all you want is peace, not chaos disguised as passion. And dating shifts from chasing passion to choosing alignment. That's what I feel. Like the tiniest thing could tip you off and you're like on to the next. And it's not commitment issues. You just genuinely feel that, listen, if I am to choose somebody, like I'd rather choose somebody on my level or somebody who could actually teach me something, if that makes sense. Obviously it's like a give and take situation, right? But you get the gist of it. And mainly, I also think about, do our values align? I also spoke about it with one of my other friends in one of the past, like earlier episodes, where we kind of discussed our values. A lot of my friends and my values kind of aligned, and that's why we are friends. And that's why certain things is very easily explainable to each other.
And I'd like to believe that when the right woman comes along, you will have the courage and the guts to say, no thanks, I'm married.
And that's the kind of report or thing I would say I look for in a partner. And I feel like our values need to align. That matters a lot. And also, like, does this person make me safe? Like, also emotionally, right? Like, do they fit into my lifestyle? Like they might have a different lifestyle and I might have a completely different lifestyle, and that might not mesh, and sometimes that might mesh. And these things are very essential. And because we think about these things in our 30s, we are a little bit more involved, a little bit more serious. And like, can I see this person fitting into my actual life, my day-to-day life? And not just a Friday night or a random Tuesday where I might need support or something like that. No, like, like a every day-to-day things. It's like it's very simple, but it's a very responsible thing that I feel like a lot of us look for. And let's be real, dating apps in your 30s, it's a completely different game. In your 20s, you'd swipe endlessly. In your 30s, one bad chat and you're like, nope, I'm unmatching this one or I'm deleting this one. And in the hopes of meeting somebody at the grocery store, while shopping for oat milk and thinking, oh, maybe they like pumpkin spice too. Like, that's what we all do, I feel like, at this point.
I'm very, very aware of my tongue. Come on. All right, here goes.
And it's a very funny concept, but I feel like you'd rather feel aligned, right? Something as small as liking oat milk is an alignment, I feel like. And I'm just talking like in terms of like my own thing. Everybody might have their own way, Somebody might go to Winners. Somebody might go to like Healthy Planet. Somebody might go to the farmer's market. It's almost like Airbnb. Okay, there's cute pictures, nice photos and everything. But what does the review actually say? We are actually paying attention, I feel like, to a lot of things. Are you emotionally available? Because a lot of people right now have, I don't know, there's so many avoidance in the dating pool, people with commitment issues. And I just feel like it's gotten to a point where it's just asking these questions, people might be like, okay, this is too much. So yeah. And also, like, certain things you'll understand, right? Do you actually communicate about certain things? Or is it just me doing all the work? Or if the other person doing all the work, stuff like that. And that is a value. Am I signing up for a 1-star stay? I'm using an Airbnb reference for a relationship here. Yeah, stuff like that. I feel like your mind is totally different when you get to your 30s versus when you were in your 20s, right? Your 20s, you're okay to make mistakes. 30s, you're like, you take a step back and you're like, okay, no drama. I'm just all about peace. If you say 2 + 2 is 1, I'd be like, okay. But here's the beauty though. Dating in your 30s might feel harder, but it's definitely more intentional. Every single person I've met in my 30s have definitely been way more interesting or way more deep, and emotionally I've been able to connect with them more than the people I've met in my 20s, if that makes sense. 20s, I feel like it can get chaotic, intense, passionate, and all that stuff, but with the lack of boundaries. But in your 30s, I've been on dates, amazing dates with some great people, and I feel like every single person taught me something, you know? Like I never walked out of the date. It was very respectful. It was very respectful dates, very interesting conversations. It's totally different. And I feel like I definitely enjoy that bit. So it's not all bad. The difference is like you're not settling for scraps, you know, anymore. Like, you know, if that's the difference between 20s. 20s, you're like, okay, let's see where this goes. 30s, you're like, nope, one tiny mistake and you're out of the picture.
Exactly.
Call it like higher standards, but I call it alignment, to be honest. Alignment to your soul. This person has to be a match. I'd rather be single and at peace than be partnered and drained. Honestly, my 30s have been like so much better than my 20s. I'm obviously grateful for a lot of things, but I feel like my 30s have been so much more peaceful than my 20s because I also feel like a lot of things helped me grow in this process. So yeah. And a lot of times I feel like when we have these like choices, when we have these wants and stuff, it's not about like being hard to love or something like that, you know, because people do have that misconception of that. It's just that you finally love yourself enough to say or realize that this person's not worthy of me, or you understand yourself or your needs enough to say no to the wrong ones, you know, because in the past we might have entertained them because most of the times it's because you feel like, okay, let's give them a chance, even though you know that they might not align with you or your lifestyle. And the good thing about all of it is like when the right one shows up, you'll know. Until then, protect your peace, water your plants, and let your dog or your cat cuddle you instead. Trust me, it's much better than most of the hinge dates. Fam, that's it for today's episode. And like always, thanks for tuning in to Just Real Talk. And just to add a little bit, dating in your 30s may feel complicated, but honestly, it's just your soul asking for something deeper, something more aligned. So remember this. Don't just listen to your heart. Listen to your soul as well, because it knows what peace should feel like, and it also knows what love should feel like. I'll catch you in the next one. Until then, protect your energy, trust your intuition, and keep it real.